Hi guys, Chris here from the Ultimate Recycler. One of the things I'm going to do on this channel is run a complete playlist on second-hand dealing. Now, along with our other recycling and repurposing ideas, it's all geared towards reducing landfill, and second-hand dealing isn't always covered in, when they talk about the R's, you've got recycle, reduce, repurpose. They don't usually mention retail, and really that's your first port of call. If you can deal in stuff and actually make dollars out of it and even make a living, that's got to be better than slaving away, sorting things and looking after the planet, but it actually costs you a lot of time. So the last resort often is the recycle, the traditional recycle, like your scrap metals and your wheelie bins each week for plastics and paper. We'll be dealing with firstly retail and then other uses. So follow our channel and you'll find out all about that. But today I'm going to show you, I'll give you a first taste of actually dealing and actually making money. What we plan on doing is taking you on picks, garage sales, maybe auctions. We buy a lot of private estates, cleaning out sheds, houses. So we'll do a lot of clips and take you along and actually show you or coach you, if you're interested, in making money out of dealing and maybe even a full-time business. I've been doing this for 15 years now. And it's just really happened by accident, and it's going really well, and I'm enjoying it, and it's led me into this whole recycle thing. So stay tuned after this, and I'll give you a little example of what we're doing as far as buying and selling and dealing. Okay guys, this is the first of one of many deals I'm going to show you. These are real life deals. This is what I do for a living, and hopefully it can give you some experience at buying and selling and what to look for, where the money is. So I'll just take you through this little one. I'm not sure how this is going to go, and I'll give you a bit of a guide as to how I operate. Now, I had a couple pull up out the front of my shop. They had all this stuff in the back. They were moving house. They didn't want to have a garage sale. They've been sort of collectors and hoarded a lot of stuff over the years. And like most people, they really don't have any avenue to get rid of it. They could try eBay or Facebook or something. But look, most of these people went online. They were older people. But even the effort involved to anyone that is online is still barely worth your time. And often when you're moving, that's the last thing you want to do is answer emails and wait for people to turn up, and they never do, and all that sort of stuff. So they pulled up at the front of the shop. I went through the stuff, unloaded it out on the footpath, and gave them a price they were very happy with, and I took the lot. So I'll quickly show you through what I've got here. This first one is a large, I think it's a silage knife, quite early, original handle. I like tools like that in the shop. I think I allowed them probably about $20, but what I do is I just make a list in my head or on paper and hit them with a bulk figure. Usually people are wrapped. The old cast iron kettle here, they did tell me it was old. I suspect not. I'd say it's probably a 1970s Taiwan cast iron item, but regardless, the campers will use it. I'd probably get about 25 for that in the shop. So I probably wrote down 10 or something noted in my head. This thing I'm circling around is rather unusual. I haven't actually seen one before. It's a hot water bottle, galvanized, or at least metal. It may be zinc plated brass or something. I haven't tried a magnet on it. Quite an early piece, and it's a bit unusual. So I'm not sure what I'll get for that. I probably made a note of about $20 for that. The Depression era lamp there, that's an early sort of 1930s lamp. It's complete with a chimney, a couple of spare chimneys. I know I usually get about $80 and $90 for those. They're not rare, but they sell quite well in the shop, and you can still use them. Put a bit of citronella oil in there and have it going while you've got a barbecue, keeps some Aussies away. So I would have allowed 30. Generally, I like to try and triple, although I won't kind of do that on individual items, but when I'm doing a tally up on a bulk lot, that's what I'll work on. There's some other glasses here. It's off a hurricane lamp. That one, I'll just keep that until I need it. Another lamp glass in there. So I won't sell those. I'll just put them aside until they're useful. That's a little modern candle holder. I probably didn't allow anything for that. Little hearth shovel, those sell okay. I'd get $10 for that. Aluminium billy, little campfire tray, not much value there. There's an anchor, the toasting forks, and a fire poker. Look, they're not bad. They're early, twisted, possibly even forged. This one's got quite a nice timber handle. Old fork. So you know they're $5 to $10 items each. So the multiplication effect comes into play here. Oh, mallet's pretty cool, but it's just had a modern bit of dowel in the handle. All the same, it's a good decorator piece. Looks good in the shop. That'll sell. I'd probably get 25 for that. This old ladle's quite nice. It's a big one. So yeah, KitchenAlia is popular. That'd probably hold $30, I'd reckon. So and this plastic container here, it's not overly old, but looks like it's military. Yeah, okay, so look, $10, $15. Another camping fry pan thing there. That's an older one too. That'll sell okay. And with the deal on taking a lot, I process everything, so they don't have to go to the tip, and that's why it's desirable for them to sell to me. So paper boxes, they'll go in the worm farm or compost bin. That little bag, it's glossy, so it probably can't go in the worm farm, but I'll put some goods in it in the shop and give it back to someone else, so it gets reused. Garden tools, there's a pitchfork. They sell quite well. Get about $20 for that. Nice early handle. This little, it's kind of a cast shovel. Be good for cleaning out a fire pit. A bit unusual. I'd get another 20 there. The print's quite modern, but it's an attractive print. Hang that on the wall for about 30. A few more tools. A sickle. Some sort of fern cutter, I think it is, but they're vintage. They're probably 50s or 60s. Better quality steel than what you buy in any tools these days. So, you know, even if you get $10 each, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So suddenly you got $50, $60 return. And even the maps here, wouldn't have allowed much for those, but those topographic maps I usually get $5 each for. There will certainly be stuff in here that's not worth a great deal, but you know, it all adds up, as I said. And the two better items they had in the car was this old steamer trunk. It's quite a nice one, especially being the sort of the timber slats and the green colour. Nice old latches. Doesn't have a key, but no one really locks these anymore. It's probably going to be used as a coffee table, decorator piece. Quite nice inside. No bad splits. Some old labels. The guy actually told me it came out from Northern Ireland, I think, around World War One, so that puts it at about 100 years old. One thing to check on these whenever you're buying timber boxes or trunks that have often been stored in sheds, always have a look underneath and always check the timber for any borer holes or anything like that. If you see borer in it, it's really not worth buying. You can fumigate them, but it really destroys the value. Even if there's no borer left, people are very hesitant to buy. And probably the coolest thing is another ladle, but it's massive. It's I don't know what it would have been used for, but it's heavy without anything in it, so I wouldn't like to try and lift it and pour molten metal from it. I mean, that's a 6 foot long table there, so it's like cast iron, I suppose. So value on these two best items out of the deal, I'd probably have 150 on the trunk. Wouldn't be hard to get. And I've never seen a ladle like that. I probably never will again. I reckon I'll hang a $100 price tag on that, and wouldn't surprise me if it sells pretty quickly. If not, it's quirky and looks good in the shop. So I haven't given you a total there. I've just thrown a few figures around. I'll tell you now that I paid the people $250. They were very happy, and they got rid of everything in the car, and they said they're coming back with more stuff in a few weeks. And before I post this video, I'll actually add to it as I sell stuff, and I'll give you a total of what I get, and it gives you an idea of profit margins to be made. I expect to at least double, probably do better than that, and you know, that's how I make a living. And the people never would have got $250 elsewhere. They might have found over time a buyer for the trunk, but you got to deal privately. As I said, they weren't on the internet, so I'm giving them a good option, and everyone's happy. Alright, so I'll get back to you shortly with some prices as I sell things, and we'll see how it pans out. Okay guys, it's now been 6 months, believe it or not, since I shot the first part of this video, and I said I'd give you a wash up of how it panned out. Well, what you're looking at here is all that's left out of this deal. 6 months in the shop, I've sold everything else, or given it away, or processed it in some form. So we only had a few maps left here, a little modern cooker, that plastic army box, an old anchor, a hearth shovel, and a throw rope. So that's it. The total of this stuff adds up to around about $50. So the whole deal's pretty much completed. I'll probably put this stuff out on special and just tidy the deal up. So the wash up. I've got a list here of what I priced out. You can see my total, as I told you, was $250 I paid for the deal back in March. And I sold most things pretty well at what I estimated. The big one on this page, I suppose, was the depression lamp, silage knife. I got $55 for. The steamer trunk, $145. Some of the things I discounted a bit. People like to haggle, but mostly prices went as expected. And over the page, oh yeah, that hot water bottle thing I got $45 for. Surprised with the maps. I actually sold quite a few maps. I added up to $60 there. So the final wash up, total return at this stage was $778. So I reckon I wanted to near triple, and I've gone actually just over that. Probably the maps made a bit more than I thought. And what's left here I'll just sell out cheap, so you know, maybe another $20 will clear this up, and then the deal's finished. So that's pretty well where we're at. A successful deal, a profitable deal. That's what I need to do. I'm in business to do this. I need to make a living. Most of it sold fairly quickly. I probably could have done this a while back, but I haven't had time. Just to recap, the price I offered, $250, as I said initially, the people were happy with that. They would have struggled to make that money themselves without a lot of effort, and that's the beauty of buying in bulk and buying the whole lot, is people see it as a convenience. So it's kind of a win-win. I'm helping them out. They're getting a bit of instant cash, and I'm making enough margin in it to make a living. If I can't make this sort of profits, honestly, I wouldn't buy the deal, because there's a bit of work, there's a bit of cleaning up, processing stuff, pricing it. I have overheads, I have a shop. So yeah, this deal turned out fairly typical and quite successful. I hope you got something out of this. If you're interested in seeing some more of these types of deals and showing you how to quote on items, what rough prices I'll get for them, a bit of real life dealing, I'm happy to take you along. Just let me know. If I get a bit of a response, I'll do some more for sure. Take you on some garage sales too, and point out some of the things to look out for to make good money. So I'll sign off for now. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to your feedback.